For more on the story of the three deported American citizens, we turn now to our White House correspondent, Laura Barron Lopez. So, Laura, tell us more about these three U.S. citizens and what we know about their cases so far.
So in one of the cases, it's two U.S. citizen siblings, a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old, who were deported with their undocumented mother to Honduras within 24 hours after being detained. And that 4-year-old is a boy who has late-stage cancer, and he had no medication with him. The undocumented mother of these two children had a removal order for not appearing at a hearing shortly after she came to the United States as an unaccompanied minor years ago. She was not aware of that removal order. Now, in the other case, the third child is a 2-year-old girl who was referred to in court filings with the initials VML. She was also deported to Honduras with her mother. That 2-year-old is a U.S. citizen, and they were deported roughly 3 days after being held for 3 days in detention. And in VML's case, a federal judge said over the weekend it is their, quote, strong suspicion that the government just deported a U.S. citizen with no meaningful process. In both cases, the undocumented immigrant mothers were appearing for routine check-ins with immigration officials with their children. And we have previously reported that there were other U.S. citizen children deported. So in all, under the Trump administration, by our count, there have been at least 7 U.S. citizen children who have been deported with their parents so far.
So you've heard the Trump administration say the children were deported with their mothers. That's the mother's request. You spoke to lawyers for both of those families you just mentioned, though. What are they saying about the Trump administration's argument?
I spoke to Serene Shabaya, who is representing the 2-year-old known as VML, and she's also the executive director of the National Immigration Project. And I asked Serene about the comments that Trump's border czar Tom Homan made, specifically that he said that the mothers wanted their children to be deported with them, and Serene refuted that account.
That is willfully misleading. They did not request their children to be deported with them. One of these children is 4 and has cancer and is undergoing treatment. Neither of the moms felt like they had any choice in the matter. And if it was truly a choice situation, then why forbid them from talking to their family members and attorneys? If this was a transparent situation where they could make a choice, then there would have been no reason for immigration authorities to specifically prevent them, despite many outreaches, from being able to talk to their family members and their lawyer to actually make that choice. And it is a form of family separation.
Serene told me that VML's mother, that's the 2-year-old, that undocumented mother had no criminal history, and that had she been allowed due process, she would have contested the removal. Now, in both cases, there were legal custodians in the United States that were willing and able to take care of these U.S. citizen children. But in both cases, requests for legal visits, for legal calls were either denied or ignored. And I talked to the lawyer in the other case for the mother of the 4-year-old child with cancer, Erin Hebert, and that lawyer said that the lack of due process is frightening, and that in all her years working in immigration, she fails to see any good faith interpretation of the law for what happened to these U.S. citizen children.
Laura, I know you've also been reporting on the fact that President Trump signed a number of executive orders today, also focused on immigration. What do those executive orders do?
So Lisa highlighted that executive order targeting sanctuary cities, which creates a list of jurisdictions that may not be fully cooperating with immigration enforcement. And the timing of that is striking because it comes about a week after a federal judge blocked the administration from withholding federal funding from sanctuary cities in California. That judge had said that the president likely overstepped his authority. But we're also expecting the president to sign this afternoon an order that requires truck drivers to be proficient in English, to be proficient English speakers. This is already a federal regulation, but the White House is going to direct the Department of Transportation to prioritize enforcement of this. Now, I spoke to a truck driver for a grocery train. He transports goods through the Northeast. His name is Carlos Diaz. And he said that, yes, truck drivers absolutely should be proficient in English so that way that they can read the signs and drive safely on the road. So he agreed with the goal of this executive order, but he was worried about the implementation and specifically the targeting of Latino truck drivers, and said that truckers should be given time to meet the requirement.
All right. Our White House correspondent, Laura Barron Lopez. Laura, thank you.
Thank you.